So there's a quick tutorial to Quartus software development and creating your first FPGA. We're going to use Lab 1, Part 1 as a quick demo. So if you open Quartus for the first time, you get a screen just like this. I know my Windows screen is quite small, but if you click on the new project wizard, there are several ways you can start a new project. One is through the wizard. The other one is you go to file, you go to new project, and you can start the wizard from the file menu as well. We just use this icon to create a new project. So new project, then we go to next. We will put a project in a separate file on the desktop. Let's call it first FPGA. Or first lab. We're gonna call it Part 1 as to make things easy, or for demo purposes let's call it first FPGA. Go to next. We want to select the empty project. Next, we can skip this session as well. On here we're looking for the right FPGA device to connect it to, and we are interested in Cyclone 5 FPGAs, and it's the SEMA FPGA. So go all the way down. The FPGA we're using for the D1 board is the 5C SEMA 5F31C6. So select that, go to next, leave everything as it is, though we can change the Verilog here to VHDL, but just now we can finish. So this will create an empty project for you. There's no file added at the moment, and since you can have several files in one project, to create your VHDL file, you just click on new. Then we want to create a VHDL file, so we select VHDL on here, then click OK. We're going to use Lab 1, so I would go to my website, search my name and select this one, go to teaching. I should have access to the labs from Modern Computer Architecture link. Just use the same details that you use to log on to your now. Don't save, and that will open the lab site for you there. So we're interested in the first lab. Do read through this for the benefits of your lab book, but for now we're just gonna copy this. Or best, we can retype it if we want, but just copy that and paste it on here. Right, if we first run this, we will get errors because there's a few typos, but for the purpose of a demonstration, I'm going to run it as it is anyway. Save it for the first time. I'm going to leave that to run as it will take some time and continue later. So it's finished running. You notice we've got a few errors there. If you want to quick link to the error, when you click an arrow, it'll take you straight to the error. Usually these sort of make sense, and you get used to the error messages as you go along. This comment, so make a comment, and do spend time to make your code look good. If you want, you can be as creative as you want. I prefer putting a comment in the header, but I'll just leave it for you to decide. And you can put it, say created or just a loose author, and you can have your name on there if you want, with your date, but you get the idea, and a brief description of what the project is about. Right. So if we fix what all the obvious errors, we should expect it to work, but my guess is we will still get an error, which we will figure out in a minute. So I'll run it and we will get an error, try to figure out what it is to solve some frequently asked questions or to avoid further errors from people. So I'm going to pause this as well to see what error it comes up with. So as expected, it's telling us the first FPGA, which is the project name, is not defined. So because our top level entity, there is no top level entity called first FPGA. So if we go back to the VHDL code, what we should do is to make sure that the entity name is the same as the top level VHDL code, because if we can't find it, it's not going to try to run it anyway. So let's give it the same name, first FPGA. So there goes there, first FPGA. All the instances of part 1 replaced by first FPGA. Replace that by first FPGA, and that should do the trick for us now. I'll put this in the description. Of course, to make things longer, and if you want, you can make it look a little bit better afterwards. So it's beginning to look good. Right, now we can compile the code finally, and hopefully there should be no compilation errors. So as expected, it's finished compiling with no errors.